Hey y'all, welcome to Parker's Reef. On today's episode, we're going to head up the highway to Deer Park Aquarium and see what's new at the Dream Fish Store. All right, thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Parker's Reef. I have had a number of you, the viewer, out there reach out and say, hey, are there any updates on the Dream Fish Store? Because it has been a number of weeks since I last gave you a bit of a tour there and showed you where things are at. Because if you've been following along, it's been a huge journey for the owner there, Dave at Deer Park Aquarium. He has planned this new fish store within an inch of his life, and now seeing this new fish store come to fruition, step by step, following along those plans is an absolute joy to see. Now, we've done some things like have a look at the floor plan, have a look at the move day, check out the incredible filter skid, which, little heads up, I do have a video coming out either tomorrow or next weekend with some crazy automations I've built for that incredible filter system. But there's been development after development. Now that things have settled in for a few weeks, we're absolutely due for an update and a tour to see what stock is in this weekend, both of dry goods, live goods of both the freshwater and the salty side, and of course just see how things are progressing there. So without any further ado, let's roll the footage. I'm going to jump in the car, head up the highway and check out Deer Park Aquarium. All right, kicking things off here in the dry room. Don't mind the boxes and the ladder there. I am here after hours, just before the weekend begins, getting some footage for you guys. And you can see Dave's got a good lineup of vectorers and the new large smart filter roller. And you can see the large roll there on the left. It absolutely dwarfs the others. The small's quite tiny. The medium's pretty decent, but that large is massive. It's got some verses in there, including base stations, a huge amount of the Reef factory gear here. They're Reef flare lights in various sizes. You can see the base pumps. I just fitted up a level sensor on my Dream Reef tank just to make sure that I get a notification should it be about to overflow. He's got pH meters, thermo controls, dosing pumps, more base pumps. Every Saturday he does get a fresh delivery of phyto and copepods, which is always good. And of course he's got a full range of Hana there. I'm actually using the electronic refractomer there as my salinity checker. Works really well. I'm not a big fan of conductivity pens, so that's the option for me. And you can see this wall of purple here from the Aquaforest range. Plenty of Dr. Tim's as well there. But pretty much everything that Aquaforest bring into the country is there. Plenty of Salifit test kits, some big bottles of glue and Instaset. There's also some salt samples there. Here is the big filter skid we touched on in the intro, and it's looking an absolute treat. You can see two little additions I've added there, but stay tuned for that. There will be a video on that tomorrow for those who are interested on how I plan on making the best even better. But have a look at this incredible system. Filter socks there, you've got the K1 media. The little addition in the plumbing there was because the K1 media is filling up the middle sock more than the outer two, so the recirculation goes to the outside two filter socks there. K1 media is now operational with plenty of movement there. Check out that skimmer. It's working an absolute treat, and that washdown works really well. That runs the entire fish system, or the entire marine fish system at the moment, and does it without breaking a sweat, which is really cool to see. So that is in there. Still a little bit of tidying up to go in here, but it's not too bad. This is the display from the previous store, and it's kind of in a holding pattern right now, but you can see a couple of beautiful OG bouncers in there, a couple there just bubbling up really nicely. The rest of the scape's doing quite well as well. The tank has not been forgotten. It's just set aside while the new displays are getting worked out. But moving back on into the dry room, you can see a big pallet of Aquaforest salt here. The team tell me that was full of 16 buckets this morning and has already dropped down to 5, but there is plenty of Reef crystals there and salts from ASF. Over here, there's something a little bit different. The Coral Creations t-shirts from the teams are here, and you see a good range of different sizes there, a couple of different logos to pick from if you're looking for a nice shirt that you can wear while you're working on your tank or just to represent. I did touch on over here, there were some Salifit test kits, but there's also plenty of Kamoa and Auto Aqua gear in there as well. Now, heading on over here, you can see the self-serve water filling station now with the sign saying salt water and RODI. I do still need to source a nice little tray to go down there so you can sit your drums on it. And check out the fill line here. That's what goes to the water storage out the back, that big chunky pipe that runs all the way along out the back to the 10,000 litre water storage. So That's there for quick filling and makes light work of it when the water delivery comes. But looking in the cabinets here, you can see a good assortment of the very popular AI blade lights, Neros in all three sizes, the new Axis centrifugal pump, and up above there is the Orbit 2 and Orbit 4, as well as some of the prime lights as well. So plenty of AI gear in stock. Over here, there's this really funky looking little frag rack. It's kind of connected, but kind of independent as well. So just an interesting way to display frags on your system, or even set up a little frag tank, I guess. Coming across here, you can see plenty of the Continuum range of products, including the Equation M, or Clean Equation M, I should say, and Back to Clean M. This is the program used to address many nuisance algae, and it is available in a number of different sizes there, depending on your tank. Into the next cabinet here, you can see something you don't see every day, and that's a Deltex sulfur reactor for bringing your nitrates down, which is really, really cool to see. And a few really nice Deltex skimmers in there as well. Plenty of Kessel lights there, including freshwater ones, refugium ones, and of course Reef ones. Plenty of controllers, obviously, as well, to make that work, whether you want the dongle or the controller. No shortage of Vitalis, and have a look at how bright the range of products from ASF are. Just absolutely glowing on the shelf there. But yeah, plenty of Vitalis pallets, some fish traps there, heaps and heaps of food from Tropical there. There's also some stick-on tabs from Sarah, and there's also some Ocean Nutrition pallets and flakes there as well. So huge assortment of flakes and pallets for all of your fresh and saltwater fish. Plenty of nori up there as well. We've got some more AI gear there. Over here, there's this really bright, it's not my cup of tea, but for those who are setting up a nice little goldfish setup, you've got plenty of ornaments there, and you can see plenty of display tanks in as well. Over here's the plumbing section, got a little bit of work to go there, but it's coming together. If we head on into the fish room, you can see Dave and Blake working hard here, unboxing today's delivery. A full pallet full of stock came in, so I'm going to give you a tour of the stock as it is right now, but you can imagine that there's going to be a lot more coral fish from Cairns Marine to go in. But before we get to that, there is a big change in the fish room, and that is life on the less salty side of things. It's mostly fairly basic freshwater fish at this point in time, but if we head on over to this system, in here something that's not your basic freshwater fish. Have a look at this guy here. What a beast of a unit, and we'll pan down and I'll show you both his name and his price in a second, because you know me, this is Parker's Reefs, not Parker's Rivers. I know nothing about it, but there he is, the Sengal Bashir, I think you pronounce that. I've been told that's quite a desirable freshwater fish, but this is stuff I'm a little bit more familiar with, your sort of your basic goldfish, and I've actually also been told there's some very non-basic goldfish in there, but the team are branching out into the freshwater side of things, and you can see Dave here unboxing plenty of stock. He's got, it looks like a box of coral there from Cairns Marine, looks like a lot of Lobos, so we'll let him get back to that work and we'll head on over this way and see what we can see in the tanks already. In here I can see this is the $35 system, so you're going to see a lot of frags and cheaper entry-level sort of corals in here. That being said, those two redline cleaner shrimp under there are not going to be in your $35 range, but couldn't help but grab the DSLR out just to give you a look at these frags from the top down, remembering these are $35 a piece Australian, and you've got a great assortment here for some easy to keep SPS in your bird's nest, some really nice millies there. Moving across into some digis, you've got some nice encrusting pieces here in various colors. Really, you can see one that's growing completely on the rack there. You got some nice jack-o'-lanterns there, some purple Monties, and then moving across into some stuff that people probably recognize a little bit more. You got some Cephastrias there, some Chalice, and of course some Monty caps. So you've got the reds and the green caps there, and they're a nice size frag and a really nice way for people to get into this hobby. I do remember in Australia when the red cap first became available, it was crazy expensive for a frag that size. So to see them, plenty of them available at your local fish shop for $35 a piece is really cool to see. Even see some nice acans, candy canes, Duncan frags even, some Blastos, and of course some gonies here, some really nice gonies. In fact, that red goni, those couple of red gonies for $35 a piece are very, very nice indeed, and you can build out a nice little garden for very little money. Nice big blasto back there. I like the big large heads on that one. And then looking down the bottom here, we'll get a little sneak peek into this clam here. This is on a Christmas tree rock. Then you've got the nice clam on its own, and moving across into a few other pieces there. You've got some nice trackies there. You've got some fungias, nice little assortment of fungias, and then a pretty special looking SBS frag. We might switch back to the front view to check that out. I might need to inquire about that. It was a smooth skin red, which looked like it had yellow polyps. That could be a little red Ferrari, I think they're called. I need to check in on that. But this is sort of more the frags that are accustomed in this sort of section. You get a nice selection of zoas there, some chalice, a few green star polyps and things there as well. Heading on over this side, there's some $60 pieces in here. So there's a good assortment of chalice up the top. You got some candy canes. These ones, yeah, 60 each or 3 for 150. You got some really nice pieces down here as well. Good assortment of color. Pretty large pieces really for the price. So if you need to put a little splash of color into a space, you can have a look through this section here and find something that tickles your fancy. Same price on the other side over here at $60 a piece or 3 for 150, and those prices go across the tanks. Again, the red line cleaner is not included, but have a look at the size of these Lobos, Patchies. Some really, really nice bright coloured pieces in there. You got some bubble corals of some of the toxic coloured ones as well as your basic coloured ones. You've got some good sized gonies in there. In fact, the ones at the end are very, very large indeed. Then up the top in this system, you've got some SBS colonies, still $60 a piece or 3 for 150. We'll get the DSLR out now so you can have a good look at those. There's some nice large bird's nest colonies in there. I apologise if the camera's a little bit close. The SBS are quite high in the tank, but it does give you a nice close look at them. There's a really nice acro there with a acro crab in it, which is cool. Some more bird's nests there. This piece here has some really good potential. I quite like the colours of the polyps it's showing there. It's obviously browned out a little bit. Curious to see where it goes there. A nice fairly standard purple tipped green acro there. Got a nice, looks like a little bit of a tabling millie there. The polyp extension's fantastic on it. A couple of pieces of that there. These are all very, very affordable colonies. Like I said, $60 Australian for a piece about the size of an adult's palm, which goes a long way with SBS, and we are truly very lucky here in Australia to get access to these pieces. And what I love about wild SBS is you never really know what color it's going to go in your tank. The colors they come in at the wild can sometimes get better, sometimes get worse, sometimes not change at all in your tank. So it is a little bit of a roll of the dice, and it truly is another aspect of the hobby that I really do enjoy. And that smooth skin green is interesting, as is this highlight tipped sort of fair colored piece. Super, super interesting. And you can see that nice purple piece there as well. Over this system here, this is another $60 tank or 3 for 150. Some really nice fluffy morphs in there, some big wild Zoa rocks in there. We'll get a good top-down look at these as well. Some clove polyps there. And as promised, here is that look from the DSLR, and you can see a nice Duncan colony there. Some of these clove polyps here, very, very nice indeed. Super easy to keep, fast-growing coral for those out there looking to dip their toe into the world of corals and maybe even add some to a fish-only system. And speaking of easy to keep corals, here's some green star polyps. Nice, good-sized colony of that there. Very popular to stick up on the back wall and let it grow. But what I do love the most in this system are these large, wild collections of zoas. You see, each one of these rocks has at least 4 or 5 different types of zoas on there, and they're fully grown in. Gives that really natural look, and again, a super easy to keep coral. I apologize again for how close we are to the coral with this camera, but I could not use this DSLR footage because it really does show the beauty in these corals. And these wild Zoa rocks, I'm not a big Zoa guy. In fact, I don't have any Zoas in my Dream Reef tank, but these rocks, the way they're completely covered in, just look beautiful. And then there's also some other pieces in here as well, like we touched on. There's some Rhodactis rocks there. So same sort of deal, a wild collection of Rhodactis, including some fluffies there. See some Supermans and another type of fluffy there. So some really cool pieces on the top rack. And then when we go down to the bottom rack, you'll see even more down there. And then down the bottom, there's a real cool assortment of soft corals. And I say assortment with my hand on my heart because there's a number of soft corals in here that I either have not seen before or cannot recall seeing them. So if you are in the hunt for some slightly different soft corals, you know where to look. So some cool pieces there. Blake is preparing the next $60 system. You can see those corals fresh out of the box from Cairns Marine. will be set up ready for the weekend's trade, which is really cool to see. Heading on over to the next row where things get a little bit more expensive. We're into the $120 a piece system here, but some of the stock in this tank is incredible. And in fact, I actually think some of the hammers in this tank here are the best. We'll get a good look at these with the top down of the DSLR in a second, but absolute showpiece is in there, and you can pick up 3 for $300 and get a really nice garden going. There's some quite large pieces in there and some quite bright colored pieces. The light at the moment in the store is probably not favoring from this camera angle so much, but when you see from the DSLR footage, you'll see what I'm seeing, and they're absolutely gorgeous pieces in there. Starting off with that nice gold, the blue outliner down the bottom there, you've got a nice little frog spawn or frammer, some solid greens, some solid golds there. That's a little toxic frog spawn there, is beautiful. Got that really cool green stem with pale pink tips there. A really nice toxic model up the top there. Two very different frog spawns next to each other there. Your more traditional green with a blue tip next to it. Some more toxic models there of various toxicity coming across here to what I think is a really, really nice high-end standard colored frog spawn there. Toxic or a solid toxic green there. Nice orange. Quite a large frog spawn here with an equally large hammer next to it. And like I said, these pieces in here, I know Euphyllia has been super popular the last few years. Check out that gold frog spawn there. And as a result, the price has skyrocketed. However, these pieces are $120 Australian each, or you can buy them in a multi-buy and save even more on that. And I think they will arm wrestle some of the most expensive pieces in the shop for their beauty. Of course, over into the next $120 system, you've got a good assortment as well. Obviously not Euphyllia in here, you've got some Chalice, Samacora, there's a nice dunk in there. Down the bottom here, we've got some Lobos or some Patchies. We've got some big ones in there. Nice assortment of colors from your bright oranges, your reds and greens, and everything in between. Now, heading on over here, this is where the Interfish captive spawned Euphyllias are. Now, these guys are only $80 each, or 3 for $200, and I'll get you some top-down footage of those. And here they are. These pieces, as the name would suggest, have been spawned in captivity. So they're not fragged corals. These are corals that spawned in captivity and then have been raised from those tiny, tiny microscopic little pieces up to these nice sized colonies here. And they do vary a little bit in size. You can see one there, barely the size of the frag tile, where a good percentage of the others here, you wouldn't know there was a frag tile under them. They absolutely overthrow it, and there's some really nice colored Euphyllia in here. And I do like the way that you can assume, it's not maybe not scientifically proven just yet, but you can assume that if these ones have raised from tiny spawn in a captive system, that they're probably going to be pretty hardy against most things that typically go wrong in aquariums. Now, like I said, there's no science behind that, so please don't quote me, but it does kind of make sense, and these pieces here have been growing away despite the move, despite the challenging conditions they've been through from one store to the next store, and corals in and out of these systems, various fish occasionally going in there. They keep on thriving, and I think the amount of work that's gone into these pieces, and for something that's truly unique, I think $80 a piece is an absolute steal for the work that Interfish have put into them. Now, coming alongside those pieces, there are some torch in here that are more. I think they're 120 a piece, but they're equally as nice as those Interfish spawn pieces. But we'll head around to the last bank of coral systems, because this is the sort of the creme de la creme, the absolute pick of the pick. So looking here, it's a $200 system, and you can see there's some beautiful hammers in here. These are probably the brightest hammers in the system, although the next tank is the last one, so it does have a few showpieces in there as well. But look at that gold up the end. That's a very, very nice piece indeed. There's even some nice goni up on top there, as well as some more goni down the bottom. We will get the DSLR, as I have with most of the other tanks, out to have a good look at the colors of these, because those acans and those cushion corals there are very, very nice indeed, and you can really only appreciate them from the top down. So as promised, here is said top down DSLR footage, and take in the beauty of some of the colors of these Euphyllias, because they are stunning. I again apologize for how close the camera is, but I had to use the footage because there's some beautiful pieces in here, and look at the swaying motion on that one there. Hopefully not making you feel too seasick. Beautiful frog spawn there. Really like the assortment of frog spawns in Dave has at the moment. And when we look down the bottom of that tank, you can see those gonies and alveos that I talked about before. Really nice pieces. A nice little glitter pink down there, it seems. Nice purple. I like that white eye one. And then when we have a look at some of the acans here, it looks like some fish has been putting some sand on top of these pieces. I'll have to get that off after I finish filming, but look at those acans, really nice pieces. And then onto the cynarias. There's some really big reds here. I quite like this peachy coloured one there, something a little bit different. Again, with a lot of sand on it, but we'll fix that up quick smart. A couple of variants of the big reds there. Look at that massive red one there, absolute beast of a piece there, where the one to the left of it's a little bit more bubbly. That one's just stretching out as far as it can go. And then some nice greens for contrast there. Don't forget, if you're going to have a big red, it's nice to have a big green next to it, just to show that just how bright that red is. It really only shows it when you compare to a color like a nice dark green to really set it off. And then moving on into our final, very last system. This is the pick of the pick. And there are some pretty nice showpieces in here. Again, I will get the DSLR out, but just so that no one thinks I've been unfair or biased or anything, I'll show through the camera on the front first. You can see some nice deshi down the bottom, nice scully, some chalice, great assortment of pieces in here, as well as those beautiful euphyllias down the bottom, some torch along the top there, some various ones there, rasters and things. But look at the gold on that that euphyllia there, absolutely gorgeous. Nice, really bright gold tips on it. That one to the left of it, we'll get to that one in a second. Have a look at this sort of marbled gold up here, looking quite nice indeed. This one down the bottom though, that's, I don't know how I could describe it other than saying a holy grail hammer. That is green and gold. Absolutely beautiful piece. And even this gold next to it with a green sort of heart, equally stunning. This beautiful extreme reverse hammer there, the really toxic stems with very, very vibrant purples on it. A nice deeper gold here, and quite a decent sized piece at that. That's a showpiece gold hammer, that one. Very, very nice indeed. And if that's not bright enough for you, have a look at this one down here. A little bit smaller, but wow, I don't know if I've seen a gold that bright before. Another extreme reverse hammer there. And this one down the bottom, we're going to go up and have a look at this frog spawn first. Your toxic reverse frog spawn with the green and purple. This one down here has a gold stem with like a rose gold anchor. Super cool in its coloration. So some really unique and highly sought after hammers in this tank. So, you know, if you've got a bit of a collector's eye, you know where to look. It's the final system in the fish room. There's some nice deshi here. This guy has been through the systems a long time, so he's got two mouths there, and I'm sure he'd love to find a new home in your system. And there's a nice little rainbow chalice frag down there just growing out. But we should move on to the fish. I will only be able to show you the fish as they are right now. Obviously, Dave and Blake are very busy. You can see them there unpacking that huge delivery of Cairns marine fish. This was Dave wheeling it in just a little bit earlier. One of the conveniences of the design of the new store is all of the doorways were made big enough to wheel a pallet through. So when you get a big delivery of fish and coral like he has right here from the team up at Cairns Marine, you can just wheel that straight into the wet room and start unpacking. Get that pallet jack out of the way, but let's have a look at the fish that are in before the new stock goes in. We've got some really nice clownfish here, some beautiful Great Barrier Reef chromis, a Tamini tang, which is cool. I don't see a lot of those these days, and I don't know why. Orange with a white tail, beautiful fish. You can see the peculiar clowns there, 150 each. Moving on over to the next system, and speaking of clowns, have a look at the number of clowns in this one. These are your basic orange and white Ocellaris clowns there. No shortage of those. They do go for $35 a fish in the store. Mind the dirty glass. Like I said, it is unbox night after hours, so fish will be going into these systems and all get cleaned up before you come in Saturday. A couple of really nice butterflies in here, including a copper band, but look at this guy here, just flaring up for the camera. What a stunner of a fish he is. I'm going to assume he's a coral eater like 99% of butterflies are, but anyone out there, Rob, that has is planning at least a fish-only system, you know where to look at those butterflies. A few more clowns down here, got a few more designers and things in here, a few platinums and whatnot in there, but the takeaway, you can see the clowns here, mockers, designers. There's a 6-bar angel in there as well as a Singapore angel, they're up in the top corner there. The main takeaway is Dave has a lot of clowns in store at the moment, and you can see another beautiful clown. That was our girl from the blue gig at the old store, so she's found a new home in the bubble tips. Got some nice red stars. There is a mantis shrimp as well, $30 for anyone looking to set up a cool second tank. Mantis shrimp make incredible pets. They are incredibly intelligent and are really quite interactive as well. We've got a heap of these sort of very standard BTAs in, $50 a piece. Cool if you got a nice big assortment of clowns and you just wanted to swoosh about in something. There's also some overflow ultra recorder in here that do absolutely nothing under the fish lights. You got to get them under coral lights to see what they look like. You see no shortage of inverts in, a heap of trochus snails in, as well as strombus. I believe there's some gnat snails as well, a few different macroalgae about. But let's get on to the other side of the fish system here. You see a nice let's see, hiding in the pipe down here is one of my favourite fish, the marine beta. Only a little juvenile in there, and what a stunner of a fish she is. Got the Fijian fox face there. We've got a couple of different wrasse, some blennies, looks like little lawnmower blennies, a blue spot tiger blenny, and some other fish in there as well. So a nice assortment in that system. Up here's a nice little Aptasia eating tank. You've got plenty of Australian stripies, some nice filefish, harlequin tusk and things in there as well. And then moving on to the next system, we've got some pyramid butterflies and looks like a mimic tang. Few nice, beautiful blue face scopaz in there. Got some fusiliers down here. Some sharp nose cardinals there, or spot nose cardinals. Heading into this system, the big Australian mustard tang there, in a tank of his own, the poor guy. And up here, nice bicolour angel, coral beauty, fire goby, some amphias there. Really nice butterfly. Look at this guy, what a stunner he is. That is some cool markings on that fish. Again, he's going to be a coral eater, but I just noticed how many times I keep pointing out these cool butterflies. Maybe I've got a fish-only system in my future. Nice Spanish hog there, some engineer gobies. Also really like these guys here, these sand perches. So there he is listed there. The sand perch, super cool fish. I added one to my tank and absolutely love the little guy's character. Nice trigger there, some more designer clowns. Have a look at these guys, look like mocha stormtroopers, I think, but they're going to be of that sort of pedigree and some more variations and options there. So plenty of clowns from your standards up to your high ends. Got a big stripey there, some more tangs, got a lipstick, harlequin tusk, a clown chorus wrasse there. This one here, I think that's the Cortez or the French, beautiful fish. Got a nice scopaz there. We've got a chorus wrasse, some other wrasse, leopard wrasse, beautiful fish. Oh, speaking of beautiful, have a look at this scribbled angel, another one of those coral eating angels or butterflies that I'm talking about. But what a cool fish, some nice foxies there. But you can see the guys are slowly making their way through the fish to unpack. Dave's got probably a pretty late night ahead of him. It's already fairly late, but we'll keep the show rolling because there are some more clowns over here, including some gold bars, gold nuggets, and lightning clowns in here, believe it or not. So many variations of clowns in store, so if you are chasing some, you know where to come. And likewise with the seahorse, check these guys out. These are the biggest seahorse I've ever seen. They are a particular breed. They are a warm water species though, so I'm not going to try and pronounce that. If you can read it, please do look them up. But when you compare the size next to the cooters, which is our pretty common seahorse, you can see they're a good 2, 3, or 4 times the size. That is, the cooters are a fraction of the size. And then also a couple of barbari, I think there's some left here, a couple in the back there. So pretty cool assortment of fish. Heading up in here into our sort of final systems here. Got a big scopaz there, got a nice sailfin, blue tangs, and no shortage at all. In this system here, there are some Clarky clowns, just when you did not think it was possible to get any more type of clowns. There's a nice little school of Clarkies there, some bar gobies, a nice Des Jardini sailfin. Pretty cool assortment indeed. And then we're back to the start, so let's go see what Dave's been unboxing. And look at this angel. Whee, he's trying to make his way out of the net. Dave had it under control. What a stunning fish he is. Beautiful angel. And something at the other end of the spectrum. Have a look at this big lionfish that just came in. Beautiful predator fish. Stunning. And look at him, just the colors on him. Those red stripes. Beautiful markings throughout the entire body. Just absolutely gorgeous fish, and I think there's probably one more I can get footage of before I have to head home and prepare for the next day in the shop. Have a look at this angel. Beautiful markings, a real pattern on the tail. Really keen to see how he settles in overnight, ready for the day's trade Saturday morning. So I should probably wrap the footage up here. I know Blake and Dave are still slaving away. You can see Blake's a bit tired there. I'll let them get to it, and we'll see in the morning what cool fish they've unboxed. All right, guys, there you have it. That is the update and tour of Deer Park Aquarium, otherwise known, well, on this channel anyway, as the Dream Fish Store. If you've got any questions, comments, feedback, anything like that at all for either Dave or myself, feel free to pop it in the comment section down below. I do personally reply to each and every comment there, so it is the best way to get hold of me. Other than that, if you can give the video a thumbs up, that tells the algorithm that it's worth watching and will recommend it to other reef enthusiasts out there. And for all of those of you who are fortunate enough to be relatively local to Deer Park Aquarium, I'd love to see you in store today. I'll be there all day on Saturday. In fact, pretty much every Saturday you'll find me there. So come on in store. We'll help you pick out either some new equipment, some new livestock, or just have a chat about your reef tank in general. Look forward to seeing you all there, guys. Now, I don't have anything else to say, so I'll leave you with it. Till next time, guys, stay safe and keep reefing. Cheers. Bye.